Hey guys, Victor here coming at you with another hero deck profile. However, today's profile is going to be a little bit different as you're not going to be seeing the standard stuff that you see in most hero decks. Instead, I'll be showing off one of these really cool cards known as Small World, which allows you to pretty much search your deck for whatever card you may need, for whatever situation may come up. And I honestly feel like it has a lot of potential. It's just, as of right now, it's still really rough around the edges. So I'm pretty much just using this video as like a reference to get my ideas out there and see if anyone can help expand or fix or change or whatever. So with that out of the way, let's jump straight into the deck profile. So starting off with the elemental heroes, we're going to be playing 2 elemental hero stratos, 2 elemental hero shadow mist, and 1 elemental hero liquid soldier. This is pretty much standard and par for the course. You never really want to play more or less in these ratios. But we're also going to be playing some unconventional elemental heroes, such as 1 elemental hero blazeman, who I've become a really big fan of ever since EN Shuffle came out, as it's able to be special summoned by it. And since we're also playing Small World, it's able to help us bridge into more other useful cards that help us secure the game more easily. And we're also going to be playing the 1 elemental hero Spirit of Neos, who actually has like a lot of really cool utility in this type of deck, as it being level 7 allows it to be fodder for Fusion Destiny for Enforcer. If it's in your hand, you can just special summon it, and then for the rest of the turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle, which is really helpful in rogue matchups. And then when it's special summoned, you can either search for a Polymerization or any elemental hero card that mentions an elemental hero in its card text by name. And then lastly, this card pretty much guarantees that your Small Worlds will always be successful, as long as it's the second card that you banish with it. Yeah, it's just a really good card, and I really like it. And that's it for the elemental heroes, but we still have other heroes such as the vision heroes, and I'm only going to be playing 1 vision hero faris. I personally feel like you really don't need more than 1 anymore, as it's pretty much dead every single time you get it to resolve the first time. So yeah, and it helps free up other space for other cards that you might want to play instead. And that's why we also only play the 1 vision hero increase and the 1 vision hero vyon. And then especially since we're playing blazeman, vyon kind of isn't as impactful anymore. You don't really need it to resolve, since you have multiple ways of searching out your cards, such as Polymerization. But it's still a really good card, and you should always, of course, be playing it. And then for the Destiny heroes, we're going to be playing 2 Destiny Hero Malicious, because it's Destiny Hero Malicious, and the 1 Destiny Hero Denier, because it's Destiny Hero Denier. Not much to say, just good cards. Fusion Destiny is broken in this type of deck. And then after that, we're going to get into the more unconventional stuff that we are able to play because we use Small World. Starting off with 3 DD Crow. DD Crow is still a really good card. It's been overshadowed because of Bestials. And I honestly consider playing Bestials over this, but ultimately I decided to stick with DD Crow just for the fact that Bestials conflict with the hero lives. But this card pretty much allows you to search out for any hero monster that you want because of the fact that it's dark, and that's typically the only thing that they have in common. But we're also going to be playing the 1 Droll and Lockbird, pretty much an easy target to get to Stratos if you need to. 1 Fire Flint Lady, because it's like this card that I'm about to show, a Crosskeeper. These are basically the same cards, so the only difference is with Fire Flint Lady, you can tribute it, and then whatever you summon off of Fire Flint Lady cannot be targeted, so it cannot be like hit by Infinite Impermanence or Effect Veiler. But then Crosskeeper has the additional benefit of being able to draw through your deck to help you thin. But all these cards, you typically don't really use them in like their traditional sense. They're basically just bridges for Small World to help you search out for other cards. But it's still nice to have them just in case, as they tend to be blowouts when you're able to actually resolve them. And with that, that's the monster lineup, and we can now move on to the spell portion of the deck. Now, when it comes to the spells, we're going to be playing a lot of 3-ofs, but we're going to start off with 3 Small World, as it's literally the heart and soul of the deck. There is not a single card in this hero deck that cannot be searched through Small World, so I figured why not give it a shot, and it's honestly just a really cool card. I love how it works. But in addition to that, we're going to be playing the 3 Fusion Destinies, because it's Fusion Destinies, and it's not a hero deck without it. Just a good card. You summon Enforcer, and your opponent has a lot of trouble outing it. And then we're going to be playing the 3 Hero Lives, also standard for hero decks. Something that's not as standard is 3 EN Shuffle. People don't really like this card, and I guess I can see why. But I don't know. I just feel like it does so much for the deck, being able to special summon anything that's an elemental hero with a different name, or a Neospatian if you want to go into like that type of route. Yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoy this card. And then in addition to that, we're going to be playing 3 Mass Change because Darklaw is an auto win against any deck that isn't Flounderies or Kashtira when it comes out in Photon Hypernova. But when you play against Tearlament, if you're able to get this and you're going first, you've pretty much already sealed the deal. And then we're going to be playing 2 Polymerization because it's Polymerization. And we actually have like a lot of ways to search this out, whether it's Vyon, Blazeman, Spirit of Neos. And then the second one does come up a lot because we're going to be fusion summoning more often than not. So yeah, Polymerization, the vanilla one, is just really good. And we're going to be playing just 1 Miracle Fusion for turn 2 or 3 for when you're going for game. If you're going into a grind game with this deck, you're not going to win. It's as simple as that. This deck does not grind. You pretty much just have to kill your opponent as soon as possible. And then we're just playing 1 Emergency Call to help search out any heroes and help make our small worlds a little bit more consistent. 1 Reinforcement of the Army for the same exact reason as Emergency Call. And lastly, just 1 Call by the Grave because it's Call by the Grave and you don't enjoy getting hit by hand traps. So that's the main deck. 40 cards, I never go over. Just keep it as consistent as possible. And with that, we can now finally move on to this extra deck. So when it comes to the extra deck, I tried to keep it as generic as possible. And because of that, I'm going to be playing 2 Master Hero Darklaw as it's pretty much your main win condition. You want to get to this card as soon as possible. And pretty much every single matchup, as long as it's not Flounderies or Kashtira, as those decks can easily out it and actually prefer when you banish cards. So yeah, we're just 2 Darklaw because it's Darklaw. You're also going to be playing 1 Master Hero Blast. I personally don't really like it as much in the current format as it's pretty underwhelming against most decks. Unless you're playing against something that's rogue and like super back row heavy, such as Flounderies, as this is pretty much one of your main ways that you're going to be able to get over the barrier statue with it being a wind. But outside of that, it's alright, I guess. You typically don't make this. And then we're also going to be playing the 1 Elemental Hero Great Tornado. This is just here for those hands where, unfortunately, you break, and this is pretty much the only hero that you can make, so I don't know. It's fine, I guess. It's easily the most cuttable card in the extra deck. And then we're also going to be playing 1 Elemental Hero Escuridao. This one is actually mandatory in most hero decks, I feel, as it being 1 Elemental Hero plus a dark, with most of this deck being dark, allows it to be summoned fairly consistently. And then we're also going to be playing 1 Elemental Hero The Shining because it's Elemental Hero The Shining, and this is pretty much your only grind game, I guess, in a sense. As if it's destroyed, you get to add 2 banished Elemental Heroes from your banished zone to your hand. Yeah, not much to say, it's just The Shining. It's easily going to be cut once Wake Up Your Elemental Hero comes out, though. And then we're also going to be playing 1 Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. You pretty much always make this as long as nothing happens to your Liquid Soldier. Just a really good card. And then we're also going to be playing the 1 Sunrise. This is your main fusion card as well. You poly into this, and then you search out the Miracle for your Ab Zero play on the next turn, and then you draw 2 because you're typically using Liquid Soldier for it. Just a really good card in general. And then we can move on to the Destiny Heroes now. So we're going to be playing 1 Destiny Hero Dystopia. You typically don't make this. The only time you are making it is if you're getting close to time, because this is a burn card. But if you have plenty of time, you're always going to be making Phoenix Enforcer instead. And so we play the 1 Phoenix Enforcer as just a really good card. It destroys 1 card every single turn, pretty much guaranteed, and it's just an overall nuisance for your opponent to deal with. And then we're also going to be playing 1 Destiny Hero Dangerous. I really like Dangerous because of the fact that it pretty much turns your Fusion Destinies into foolish burials by being able to send, you can send Shadow Mist, Crosskeeper, whatever, and then you can just extend your plays, and it's just a really good utility card. And then after that, we have our links. We're going to be playing 2 Extra Hero Cross Crusader because it's Cross Crusader, and it searches for any elemental hero as long as you tribute a Destiny hero. It's just a really good card. And 1 Extra Hero Wonder Driver. Easily my favorite link, as it's able to reset any fusion spell card in your grave or change quick play, so you can get your mass changes, your polys, your miracles, whatever. Just a really good card. And then lastly, we're going to be playing 1 Abyss Dweller. I don't play Dread Decimator because I just don't think it's good in this current format where Tearlament is the best deck. I'd rather play something like Abyss Dweller, where if Darklaw is not a possibility to make, I know Abyss Dweller will be able to carry me to a win. And yeah, if you want, you could easily cut this card also, and you could play something like Baguska if you want to focus on other harder matchups like Kashtira or Flounderies, for example, but I feel devoting everything to playing against tier element is probably the best way going forward in this current metagame. And with that, that's the hero deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. So, see ya!